Hi friends, it's Pam with Silver and Sparkles, and we're going to make a paperclip flip today. This is a really easy project, and it was inspired by that spooky ABC challenge that's going on in the month of October. And this is for, now I can't remember what day it is, but the letter P. So I'm going to make sure it posts on the right day. P posts. So some of the ideas for the prompt was paperclip, pumpkin, right? Photo. That is my brother and I. Look at how cute we are. My mom made these costumes, and that skeleton, let me tell you, it was amazing. And my little witch costume. So photo, I think there was poison. I skipped that. I can't remember what else. But I decided to do pumpkin, paperclip, photo, and Pam. Because, you know, P is my letter, right? And I made these really crazy, funky, squiggly ribbons, and they're on here well. They're not going anywhere. So anyway, I'm going to show you. I mean, gosh, it's so simple, but wouldn't this be a great addition? Now, I know this is a jumbo paper clip. I'm going to make one with a regular paper clip. And if you wanted to skip that and use a bulb pen or a ring or something, you could. But, you know, it's cute. And I can see this tucked in a journal, and I can get that to lay flat. You could also, we could still, even though I've threaded these through, I think we could clip this on. So anyway, lots of options. The paper kit I'm using is Pumpkin Spice Ephemera by My Porch Prints. I think I got the kit last year. I love it. I only printed, honestly, a few of the pages, and I have a bunch of pieces for us to work with, and we'll just see what we come up with. We'll make a few. These could be, again, a memento, like from a trip. Think about that. You know, you could have photos or some journaling about a trip, an event, a holiday, a party, whatever. A special little gift. Tie this onto a gift. Would that not be just the most precious instead of like a bow? And they're easy to make and it's fun. So I hope you enjoy it. It was just a simple idea when I saw that prompt. Now, these are the photos. I decided to pick Halloween ones for my brother and I when we were children. So that's us in some kind of creepy masks, making our pumpkin jack-o'-lantern one year. There we are. My mother had us, I think, just down. I was still in a diaper, it looks like, down to our underwear. There I am. I'm dressed up. I don't even know what that's supposed to be. There's a whole lot of glitter and a mask, maybe a fairy. Looks like, and I believe this is a little girl named Natalie Radford. I believe that was a family friend, you know, their daughter. My brother is dressed up as Casper that year. Okay, and then I also have them in a smaller, and this is the one I used for the original. So look at that sofa in the background. Is that not funny? Okay, I remember that sofa. It was a black and white check pattern. So I already cut, not all of them, but I cut quite a few pieces out. And I was thinking for this one, it might be fun to do a few of these tickets. And there are tags of different shapes that are already made. So I'm going to pretend that's like pumpkin spice, and we'll do a pumpkin cupcake. I want to do some things that are some different sizes. Oh, and there are the postcards, which those are super fun to work with. And there's some this size. We're going to make this one a little bit, like have a few more pages, I think. Oh, and I want to do something. Maybe we'll do a second one using this envelope and another set of this size tags. So let's just set this aside for just a minute. That's really cute too. And see what I come up with. Now I may back a few of these, and if I have to get another piece of cardstock, I will. The other thing I can do with some of these is they're pretty close to the same size. I could just glue them back to back, have a pumpkin truck and a pumpkin latte. Let's save that one and let's back this one. This is just some, it was a card that's just craft cardstock. And we're gonna just back it so that it's not just this white paper. I could have printed on both sides, but you know, I hadn't come up with my idea. I just knew I wanted some papers with some cute pumpkins. Let's glue a couple of these down and I'll just cut them out really fast. I could have, I guess, prepped, but anyway, welcome. So glad you're here. If you've been around, you know I love fall crafts, anything to do with the fall colors. I'm not as big of a Halloween crafter, but you know, I can get into it a little bit. And I have a whole bunch of these, so we're going to use this up instead of my regular craft card stock that are the full sheets. Anyway, I love a fall craft and anything in these kind of fun, warm, neutral, vintage, whatever, you know, tones. So I'm having a lot of fun. If you enjoy the video and the ideas, please make sure you give the video a thumbs up, drop me a comment, and all the things. And I'm still learning about that hype thing, but if you can hype and you don't mind using one of your hypes, I think you only get a few a week. I'd love if you would consider that as well. Okay. And you guys are so much fun, and I love knowing you're out there and seeing your comments, so thank you. And if you ever worry about like I can't see who's liked a video or not. I mean, so if that ever bothers you or worries you, or you want to be a little more, you know, private, unless there's something I don't know, you guys can correct me. I don't think I or the public can see who's, you know, who has liked a video. So now the comment, of course, you have to, you know, your username on your YouTube will show up. Okay. But we're all pretty nice folks around these parts. Okay, I think that went on pretty close. And of course, I'm going to use my walnut stain ink. I love to distress ink just about everything. So I'm using walnut stain. And we'll get these inked up. Again, what an easy project. Now, we can add lots of embellishments. We can layer. We can do all kinds of fun things on these. And like I said, I think these would be so adorable, like instead of a ribbon or along with a ribbon, right? I'm going to cut the tickets right here and then glue them back to back. And then I'll get the little thingies trimmed to make it look like a ticket. I think I've shown you guys a trick. I have one of the punches that you can use to cut those corners, but not everybody has one. You know, the little stubs. And of course, you can just use your scissors. But you can also, it usually works okay, not always the best, but okay. You can use a hole punch. And that one I went in a little deep on, so the angle, you know, looks, but look, that works, right? And you can try different sizes to see what might work best for you. So I was just trying to kind of pay attention. Now on these, same thing, but you'll do, and again, mine's not quite big enough, so I'm going to do it more than once to kind of get that cut out. I think that's okay. Like I said, it's not perfect, but what did I say in one of my last videos? Perfect and I are not best friends. We don't feel the need. I don't feel the need to be best friends with perfect. Okay. And you add a little ink. And, you know, if you want to, you can bend it and, you know, get it all inked up. I want these to hang down like that. And then let's pick a picture. Let's go with this one because you can actually see our faces, and I'm probably going to send one of these to him just, you know, to make him laugh. Where is my tear ruler? I think I feel it. Maybe not. All right, I'm not going to sit here and search for it. We'll just cut it out with our scissors. All right, things are getting lost on the desk. I actually had it cleaned up, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and I've done a fairly good job of keeping at least the immediate work area not too crazy. All right, let's mount this too so things have a nice thickness and we have that craft color instead of white. And then I am going to start, kind of assembling this, but I'm also going to show you how I made those silly, crazy threads. I think when I went through my haul video recently about some things I've gotten while thrifting, I think I shared, I got a bunch of this kind of stuff. So, of course, the junk journal in me started going, well, what else can I do with it? And I started cutting it apart. And of course, it started falling apart. But watch this. This is, I think, is so cool. This is just some of the neutral ones because I was being a little obsessive and deciding to pull them out. But I'm going to pull out, I cut off the edge. I need to be clear about what I did. I cut off the edge. And then a few of these I didn't cut straight. But now this one's pretty thick because I've kind of kept them together. We'll make a nice thick one. So now I've got just all these threads and I just tied a knot. I didn't have as many in the ones I did before, so we'll see if we like a bigger, chunkier one. And you got to pull all these threads through or they're going to be loose. I guess if I lose one or two, it'll be okay. All right. And I didn't worry about making sure it was in the middle or anything. Now, they're pretty thin, and we can always cut them shorter if we want to. But I just used my fingernail, and because they're pretty fine, and everything just started curling up and a little funky. Some need a little bit firmer grip. All right, does anybody else like this, or do y'all think I'm crazy? I think this, especially because, it's a Halloween themed sort of project, pumpkin-y. It just makes it look a little bit like someone's had a bad hair day, but in a good way, right? Look at that. And then, the ones that I missed, I can just come back and get, if they look too straight or if it's not curling up as much as you want. There we go. Very wild and crazy. All right. So I'm going to use that, and I will probably do some other ribbon and stuff like I did on this one. We'll see. And then kind of decide what order I want everything in and how I want it to hang. These I did on the corner. So let's just kind of look. A lot of these are approximately the same size. Now, depending on where I punch holes might make a difference. I'm almost feeling like the photo this time needs to not be on its own. I may need to put it on a tag. I hate covering up all these cute things, but doesn't that look good there? It really does. All right, we're going to just cover up the cupcake. It'll be fine. Just the size and the orientation, and with a bunch of these already having like holes that are meant to be at the top. All right, I'm going to bring it down so we see that little bit of sort of lace. Okay, so we have this. I'm wondering if I put that on the front, you get the illusion that the picture's there, right? Again, I have no idea how these are going to do with putting a paper clip at the top. I'm going to go through and put ribbons on after I've punched holes and kind of decided. All right, I'm using the smaller of the hole with my crocodile. Okay, we're going to do that one, that one. All right, again, trial and error. We'll see what works and what we like. And what we don't like, right? Okay. And the crocodile, I probably could have stacked these all together and punched one hole, but that's okay. Let's use a regular clip because I know not everybody has these, I don't know, jumbo ones. I don't know where I got them. I think maybe on Amazon. All right. Let's thread our items through. I might like the regular paper clip better. It's looking good so far. The other thing is, you know, we could use a pin then to attach this to something. You know, there's always an option, just tie it onto something. Okay, so for me, it looks a little plain. See, we can also put a ribbon on the actual clip itself, but we're gonna fix that with this craziness somewhere. I may even put the craziness here to be a throwback. I'm gonna do it to the red hair I used to have, and this is a black and white picture. It's hard to see, and I'm guessing with the with how little this one is, it's hard to tell. You can see it looks kind of dark auburn there, but yeah, it was pretty red my whole life until I went gray. Okay, so now that's going to keep this from, you know, necessarily hanging the best, but I think it's hysterical. And this is my project, so I can do the things that make me laugh, right? Now this one are just a bunch of the neutral threads, and they're not the shiny, like the shiny orange that is kind of like the curling ribbon, you know, that we use. This is more plasticky from the, and this is that stuff people use, I think, to make the big bows and things on wreaths. All right, I'm going to set that aside. I'm not going to use that right now. All right. I do have a little bit of this left. I didn't grab a ton of ribbons. I got excited about this stuff. And, you know, let's use a little piece of this. So if I do that, it's not really going to lend itself to having too much at the top of the tags. I'm going to try, and we can always add more to this clip too, but I'm going to try tying a piece onto the paper clip and see if we like that at all, because that can be brought down. I don't know. I'll think about it. And then let's do a piece in this color that's just a bow. Just a bow. And we'll put the bow on this one and leave the others. And then I'll have something kind of to the right and then to the left. Okay. I watched a video of someone making this really cool bow. And then I went down a rabbit hole, as you can imagine, trying to do it 47 times. Couldn't do it. If I ever figure it out, I'll show you guys, because it does make a beautiful bow. But I'm obviously not coordinated enough yet to figure that out. Okay. Let that dry. A paperclip flip. Now with all my crazy little ribbons and stuff, it looks kind of not plain like the original. Okay, so real quick, or I don't know how quick it'll be, but let's, I got a hot glue string that has attacked me. I want to do this envelope one. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't print on both sides. I'm going to score on the the two lines where I'm going to fold it. and we'll fold it up and probably glue it. I don't know that I'm going to put anything in it. I might, but I just think it'll be cute as one of the dangles. I mean, it really is a cute envelope in the kit. These are, I love envelopes. You guys know that, but these are so fun, you know, to just tuck inside your pockets of a journal. And then hopefully, I'm just going to add glue on either side. Hopefully give you ideas of things, you know, that you can be looking for that are, you know, more in your junk kind of ideas that you can just, again, fold a piece of rectangle paper over and have a tuck spot, that kind of thing. Cuteness. I hate covering up the pumpkin with the flap, but I guess it's supposed to be then like, surprise, there's your pumpkin. I'm going to use a Velcro dot to help it hold it closed. Well, this wasn't good, Pam. You're supposed to store these where they don't stick together. And occasionally, I probably am just moving too fast. There we go. And again, I use these quite often, but they're just the 3/8 inch, super skinny. They don't add a lot of bulk to your projects. So I enjoy using them. I'm gonna have to think about where I want to poke a hole on this one, maybe in the corner again, so that then if later we want to put something in here, it won't impede it too much. Now these were in the kit, and this is what I used for this nice wide tag. It's two large tags that you can cut apart. They're very close together when they print out, so I just didn't cut them apart. We're gonna fold them over. Now, normally I don't cut like here. I didn't cut that angle. I wait to cut that so that when I cut them together, hopefully everything matches up, right? There we go. And we're pretty close. We can always trim it up. All right, and we're gonna glue these two together. Little paperclip flips. I'm definitely embracing the P. Probably should figure out a way to do a P on this one for Pam, for pumpkin, for paperclip, all those things. All right, this one had to be trimmed up a little more, but again, not bad at all. And ink, there's a little, like the tiniest white line in between them, and when you add ink, you don't see it anymore on that edge. Those pumpkins are super cute. All right, and I was really liking this one. I think I'm going to kind of go to these colors this time. We'll do pumpkin pie. Which Pam image? Should we use this one? Let's use this one. Oh, here's my tear ruler. Look, I knew if I picked enough stuff up. Oh, I don't want to forget the envelope. Okay. We got to have Casper. Joe the Casper. And look at our plastic pink pumpkins for our treats when we went trick-or-treating. Okay. Let's see how we're doing. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to mount the three little trick-or-treaters. And I guess these two. And then we will get this one assembled. And again, this part is a little optional, but I hope you see too, like, I don't know. You really can make, hopefully, the supplies you have work. Like if you have single-sided scrapbook paper, and a lot of people get frustrated, you know, wanting ideas of how to use it. Well, it may take a moment, but you can always mount it on, you know, other paper, things like that, if you, you know, want it to have the two sides. So And not everybody, I had one lady reach out because she really was struggling how to, print on the other side of her paper. And she said her printer, didn't have the setting to print on both sides. And I don't know if mine does or not because I don't use it. I print and then I take the paper out and flip it over and feed it back through. And that is like to me, a very, easy concept. But she had really struggled because I think she watched a video where someone had a printer and they would set it up that way, which is beyond, it's beyond my ability. But I was happy I was able to help her, and she seemed relieved that there was another way to do it. But if you haven't used a printer much, that could be hard. So anyway, there's just little things too that if you have questions, I think sometimes we worry that people will think, that we don't know what we're doing. But honestly, I learn new stuff and new techniques every day, and that's part of, I think, one of the wonderful things, about being in this community, being human, is, there's always stuff to learn, right? Always. All right, we're going to do the corner again on this one. I'm thinking I cut out these fussy cuts and I didn't get to use them, but I'll use them for something. Ooh. How about I said I was going to find a way to do a pea. If nothing else, we'll just have pumpkin because that was one of the P words. And there's so many words that start with P. We could have done plant. We could have done pretty. I guess these are pretty too. I could say I did pretty. Pleasing. Parachute. I'm going to sit here and think of P words. P. A veggie. The veggie pea. Okay. I'm going to punch these together. All right. And then these I will probably just punch individually and kind of, again, eyeball it and hope I'm pick a good place. Pick, party, present. Oh gosh, someone's probably going to start, helping me and list a bunch of P words. That's great if you guys want to. You could do that. Okay. Don't want to spring the paperclip. And I've been pretty lucky so far. Not. The other thing, again, we could use something else to clip these together if we wanted to, and then we could make a cute little embellished paper clip to clip on to one of our beautiful beauties. We really can. Okay. Where did I throw this crazy piece? This was done with a bunch of the neutrals. It's a little bit, I'm going to give it a haircut. Let's see. Whoa, that's a mess, right? It's a good thing I'm going to vacuum at some point. And my husband's probably laughing if he's watching this. Let's just put these cute little neutral crazy threads that are smaller now right there. I think they'll do okay. And they're pretty, it's like plasticky. So I have a whole bunch of this stuff. I'm sure this is not going to be my primary use. I'm going to have to come up with some other things. But I have enjoyed it for this particular project. I have found it to be fun. All right. Let me dig. Ooh, look what I just found. Would that be cute or would it be too much? What do y'all think? Would it be cute? I love a good pom-pom. I do. Okay, get the glue off your fingers, Pam. I don't know why I'm struggling with my pom-poms. Okay, that would be upside down. If I put it on this one, or even, how about this one? Okay, let's put it on the pumpkin. There we go. And I'll be patient and try to do just a little bit of the trim at a time and get it on here nice and neat. That's the goal, because it is kind of, it's a little crazy. This one's particularly long. Not quite sure what happened. Oh, it looks like he got unraveled a little. Let's see if we can glue him back in place. Or I could have used a different portion of the trim. We'll see if we can fix him. I hope so. Because he does look a little bit like, I don't know, like he had a little too much to drink, maybe. Okay, a little bit more, and then we'll get to him and try to fix him. He had a rough night. But again, everything is fixable. So my goal is I'm going to put a drop of glue down and hope I got his little thread up in there. And I think I did. He even looks like he's like a little double or something. I don't know. He's going to be that pumpkin you find in the pumpkin patch that nobody wants because he looks weird. And then you take him home and he's everybody's favorite, right? I think so. I don't know what happened to him, but he has a home on this pumpkin card. All right, that's funny to me. All right, let's leave these. I think it's cute just the way it is. And I love these. So these are paperclip flips is what I'm calling them. Who knows, right? But I have more pictures, and I definitely see one or more of these in my brother's future. He's going to be here for Thanksgiving. And even though these are a little Halloweenish, maybe I will make enough for like the place decorations for our Thanksgiving dinner. That would be funny, wouldn't it? Of course, all of these have pictures of the two of us, but I could do different family, you know, whoever's here. I don't know. I'm going to give that some thought. I may be overcommitting, knowing what else I have to do to get ready for Thanksgiving, but that would be fun. Or I could just give them to him at Thanksgiving. All right. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it inspires you to pull out some photos and some goodies and make some paperclip flips. Have a great day, everybody.